Hi guys, welcome back. Erics2k here with another vid. Apologies for my disappearance. It's been about 4 months, I think, since my last upload. Basically, real life has taken a bit of a really crappy turn, and it's been weirding me out for the last few months. But I really want to try and get back into doing some vids. Take my mind off things, just get on with it. So I'm going to do a sort of like another update vid to start with, just to get back in the game of where gaming is going for me at the moment. I can't remember what I told you last time, but pretty much the roleplay side of things is still going along quite nicely. The Dark Heresy game that I've been involved in is on a hiatus because the guy running it got to a point where he'd written up to and he wanted to come up with a load more before he carried on, so I managed to coerce that particular group into playing some Pathfinder Society on alternate Mondays, which is going really well. As for Pathfinder Society, we've managed to get quite a sizable group in our local lodge. I don't know, but we must have over about 20 members now, which is quite cool. We get most of them turn up every week as well. So as much as I have a few issues with PFS, I've been wanting to do a video about that, so I might do that tonight. As much as I have a few issues with PFS, we've got a really good group going, and it's thumbs up. That's happening roleplay wise. The Sunday night games, we've restarted Rise of the Rune Lords on one alternate weekend. So this will be the second attempt for me. It does seem a lot better this time round in general. Part of that is probably because myself and one of the other guys who were in the original group kind of know what, not metagaming, not cheating, but we kind of know what's upcoming. So our characters are slightly more prepared for it. And we're coming up to the end of the first book of that now, and it's been really good. The reason I had a small issue with regards to what the GM thinks that a paladin can or cannot do, which I kind of get a bit annoyed with, because he's playing a little too hard on the rules as written or guidelines as written rather than the spirit of them. But we'll see. On the alternate weeks, I'm still running War of the Burning Sky. They're just over halfway through now. I'll be honest, I'm still enjoying running it. It's getting to be a little bit of a drag. We had to have a bit of a discussion because if you saw my video about it, the guys wanted to be a little bit more powerful. They wanted to up the ante a little bit, and since it's outside of my comfort zone, I said yes, we'll do it. We'll see what we can, we'll make you the superheroes. Well, the problem is, as I kind of expected, they're now sort of running roughshod over the game because they're too good. So we've basically decided to ditch one of the benefits which we had to compensate for the lack of treasure initially, which was to give positive levels. We've ditched that, and from here on we're not going to do max hit points, we're going to do an average. A couple of the guys, I think at least one, if not two, has already gone back and halved his hit points to try and make it a bit more fair. But it's still going along quite nicely. I'll be honest, I'll be glad when it's over though. It started off really well, but the more it goes along, the more I'm getting a little bit fed up of it. And I need to find time as well to continue with the scenario, the campaign that I'm writing. I've basically spent the last 6 months working, it's slightly longer, but really the last 6 months working out campaign characters from 1st to 20th, and it's being a bit awkward because for so many years now I have kind of just tweaked published modules and written occasional side scenarios and so on, but to write an entire campaign is proving a little bit more challenging. I haven't done it for a while, and it's something I need to kind of focus on, but with everything else going on in my life, it's been a bit, again, awkward to find the time to sit down and do it. That's currently going under the working title of the Hexam Hag Legacy, although the name may change depending on what I sort of come up with. as we go along. That's basically where the roleplay side of things is at the moment. I've kind of stopped playing 40k with the release of the new edition. I had one game. Basically, John, one of the guys that I used to play fairly regularly around here, he really likes it. I got a little bit fed up of the rules were. It's come out too soon. We needed another 3 years at least of 6th edition before we had this one. And I don't like certain rules. And to be fair, I seem to be going a bit brain dead in places, and I keep remembering rules wrong. And I just feel that the game has become mechanically unfair. It's a balance issue again, and I can't stand imbalance in games. Even if you're really, really good, the game needs to balance out, and 40k has kind of lost that to me. I want to try and get back into it at some point, but it's on the back burner for me at the moment. Mainly because I have really, really got into playing Star Trek Attack Wing, which, if you know the Star Wars X-Wing game from Fantasy Flight, this is the WizKids version set in the Star Trek universe. And I'm absolutely in love with it. I think it's brilliant. I run tournaments now on a monthly basis, proper tournaments, so we have the prize support. We're doing it a little bit different. We're not giving prizes to the winners, because we're trying to run a casual events where people don't turn up with Twinkie broken lists, which you can easily do in Attack Wing. Quite frankly, just turn up with any Borg ship and you'll win. So what we do is we're giving the prizes out random participation. So, so you're not going to guarantee a win, a prize even if you win. So people create fun lists, they turn up, and there's a chance of winning a prize. And I tend to try and find each month something cool and Trek related to give out as a super secret squirrel bonus prize. For example, the event we did a couple of weeks ago now. One of my mates, young Mr. Elliot, actually won the Secret Squirrel bonus prize, which was a Neelix Star Trek cookbook, how to make the various Star Trek dishes with Earth ingredients, which I'm holding him to have to make at some point. I want my Romulan ale, dagnammit. So yeah, that's for me doing really, really big for me. Board games are still quite popular, although I'm getting a little bit fed up with some of them. I love Arkham Horror, but no one really wants to play that because I like it with all the expansions. Eldritch Horror is quite popular at the moment, and we're going to run that as a little early Halloween, late birthday treat for me. We're going to have an evening in Eldritch Horror, which I'm looking forward to. New game that one of the guys, Darren, has bought, which I've really come to enjoy, is called Suburbia, which is kind of a Sim City as a board game. You have to try and build your city. It's a tile-based game, and you've got residential areas and industrial areas, and I can't remember the other one. It seems like parks and museums, arty sort of stuff. And you've got to try and make the best, most populous town going. And I really like it. I find making money in the game is really, really hard. I don't know how the other guys do it, but it's one of those games that I feel that I will quite happily just pick up and play if someone brings it out. But a lot of guys are have got into board games now, which I can't stand, can't abide. One of the guys is really into the Firefly board game, and I played it once, and I just thought it was one of the most terrible games I've ever played. The theme's there, but mechanically it just doesn't work very well. It's very boring, it goes on too long, and quite frankly certain elements of it need to be fixed. But he's a big Firefly fan, it seems, so that's just one example. So yeah, that's pretty much the gaming side of it. I've played a couple of little Magic events because the guys like their drafts, and it's easy to make up an extra space if they need it. But I keep wanting to try and get back into Magic, and it just fails. I just don't. It's not, as I've said many, many times before, it's not the game that I started with. It's not the game I grew up with when I started. which is really disappointing. Yep, there you go. Oh, speaking of card games, it's just suddenly occurred to me. They've just released from Fantasy Flight 40k Conquest, which is the Warhammer 40k card game, the new version. And I've got to be honest, I normally FFG card games, with the exception of Call of Cthulhu, really get on my wick a little bit. Invasion was overcomplicated. With Game of Thrones, if you were in a winning position, you just got jumped. If you weren't, you were playing Kingmaker. They're terrible. Call of Cthulhu, I love, but most guys find it far too taxing on their brain to work out how to play it. But this, they've done a really fantastic job. There's a couple of things I've still got to get my head around, which don't quite, get in there. But in general, I think it's a really good game. Take a look, check it out. Maybe it's something you'd be interested too. We've just gone over the 10-minute mark. That's pretty much it. I've rambled. Gonna have to get back used to how to do these vids. But that's pretty much where my gaming situation is at the moment. Let me know what you're up to, and we'll catch up, and I'll get some more vids done. Until next time, take care. Good gaming.